What's going on, guys? So AEW All Out was yesterday or last weekend, depending on when you see this video. I had the chance to go to AEW All Out and Collision the night before, and let me be the first to say, I was wrong. Going into this show, I had low expectations because the card was very rushed. The CM Punk thing going on, him being fired, him not being on it. There was a lot going on that weekend that I was like, I don't know how good the show is going to be. Let me lower my expectations right now. And coming out of this show, I genuinely believe this is one of the best shows of the entire year. AEW All Out is going to go down as the first pay-per-view of the post-Punk era. I feel like when we talk about AEW in their chapters, there's four. There's the beginning, which is 2019. There's the COVID era, which is 2020 to mid-2021. Then there's the new beginning with Adam Cole, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson. And then there's now the post-Punk era, which is now. This show truly felt like a new era in AEW. And I know that word gets thrown around so much, but it truly feels like that. And I already spoke on CM Punk in previous videos. I might even do another one in the coming days. But we're not going to talk too much about CM Punk in this video. We're going to talk about AEW All Out. So with that being said, let's talk about this card. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I ain't catch not a single match on the pre-show, or what they call the 0 hour. See, because I had a strategy, and that strategy was to get to United Center 30 minutes before showtime and buy a ticket at its cheapest price. And I was determined to make a video of me getting a cheap seat, a good seat, for under $50. And what do you know? It worked. At 6:50 p.m., I bought a $39 ticket and sat in section 102. This was my view of the show. I had a phenomenal view. And only $50, bro. So yeah, missing the pre-show was worth it. Especially when there was somebody next to me who said they paid $150 and I paid literally $39. Come on. All right, we're going to go right to the main show and rank every match in order. Kicking off the show, we had Better Than You Baby versus the Dark Order for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. I'm not the first to say it, and I won't be the last. I thought MJF should have defended the AEW World Championship on this show. I get you have Adam Cole and MJF as Tag Team Champions. You're continuing that act. But AEW All Out is your biggest show of the year. Outside of All In, is your biggest Big Four pay-per-views of the year. The AEW World Champion not defending the World Championship is puzzling. Especially when you subbed it out for this match, which, mind you, I thought the match, was decently good. It was a fine opener. MJF and Adam Cole are a great tag team. And, the dynamic of these two being, these best friends that you know are going to snap at some point, it works, especially because MJF is doing a damn great job as a babyface. Going up against the Dark Order, who's a damn good tag team in their own right, I felt like I expected a better match, and it was, fine. I'm going to give the match 3 stars. It merely existed in the ether of All Out, and like I said, I wish it would have been an AEW World Championship match. But Better Than You Baby retained, so the run continues, and that's a good thing. So after that, Samoa Joe came out and shoved MJF on his way down to the ring, kind of like a nod to their NXT, little segment thing they had before MJF was MJF. And they brawled for a little bit, so it looks like Samoa Joe versus MJF is the next program. And that's going to be heat on the microphone. I can't wait for it. That led into this match, Samoa Joe defending the Ring of Honor World TV Championship against Shane Taylor. You could hear a pin drop in the arena. It was damn near quiet the entire time. The crowd was, cheering Samoa Joe, but, whenever Shane Taylor did anything, the crowd didn't react at all. And this is really the issue with AEW rushing matches onto the card just to fill it up. Because most AEW fans don't watch Ring of Honor, and they don't know who Shane Taylor is. So when he got offensive on Samoa Joe, who was a very popular AEW star, people didn't really react. Nothing really that groundbreaking happened during this match, so why would they have react? Samoa Joe retained, and that's really it. I'm going to give this match 2 3/4 out of 5 stars. I wouldn't say it's bad, but it was largely boring. Honestly, pretty mid. Just a little below the opening match. But not really the hottest start to the show. But then we got into Luchasaurus versus Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. This was a damn good David and Goliath battle with Luchasaurus throwing Darby Allin all over the place. At one point, putting steps on him and walking on the steps. Hitting 3 tombstones back to back and throwing Darby Allin into the rope and then clotheslining him for the pin. Which was kind of an odd sequence to end out the match, but it was there. This match had an odd energy to it because Christian Cage physically has been holding the title the entire time, but this is really one of the first times that Luchasaurus defended it. But almost kind of had the sense that if Darby Allin would have beat him, he didn't really feel like he beat the actual TNT champion. AEW is almost cornering themselves in this storyline, so hopefully they have a way out in a sense. I'm gonna give this match 3.25 out of 5 stars. Had some cool spots, but like nothing really special. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Miro. Meat! How this all started, there was one guy in a crowd who kept chanting meat. And the crowd slowly but surely caught on, and then this became a thing now. Every hit, we said meat, we chanted meat forever. Meat is awesome. You could tell the wrestlers started catching on to this, and it made the match 10 times more fun. Honestly, the match itself is a blur to me. I was just more or less in the moment of the meat chants. Miro won the match with Game Over, and then afterwards, CJ Perry, his wife, the former Lana, came out, which we popped pretty big for. Miro left the ring, so it looks like they had some dissension between the two, which that's pretty interesting. As far as the match goes, it's not groundbreaking, but like the fun element to it is what makes it better than the other matches we've had on the card so far. So I'm gonna give this match 3.5 out of 5 stars. Sometimes you need to have a little bit of fun during a wrestling show, and this match provided that. Happy to be a part of a new trend we just started. Can't believe I chanted meat forever during the fucking show, man. That's crazy. Chris Statlander defended the TBS Championship against Ruby Soho. Another match that merely existed within the ether of this show. Oddly enough, I would say it was better than the first 2 matches on the show. I don't think they were holding anything back, especially Chris Statlander, who was hitting hard. Ruby Soho was taking the offense, dishing it back, and it made for a fairly good women's match. Toni Storm, for some reason, hit under the ring, distracted Ruby Soho, I guess she didn't mean to, but she did, and Chris Statlander got the win in turn. I give this match 3.25 out of 5 stars. Fairly good, better than expected, a W for the women's division. That's how I see it. Bryan Danielson versus Ricky Starks in a strap match was everything you could have wanted in a strap match. It was brutal, it was bloody, it told a fantastic story. Ricky Starks was outstanding in his selling and just how much pain he was willing to take from Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson really did not play the underdog role all that much. It felt like Ricky Starks was, even though he was the heel. Danielson did a great job as he always does, but Ricky Starks, this is really his coming out match. He's been on the roster for 3 years, and we know what he's capable of. This match, I felt like, really cemented him as, this is the guy who can be a future world champion one day. Ricky Starks was getting whipped like nobody's business throughout this entire match. I felt like taking an absurd amount of, choke spots and bleeding, and then at the very end where he got choked out, the way in which he was trying to fight out of it until Danielson wrapped it around his neck. And if you saw the facial expressions, then you know what I mean by this was top tier. I mean, this was Kenny Omega, Edge, Roman Reigns level, visual storytelling. The way he felt like he was in the fight of his life until he couldn't anymore. That's burned in my head. That for me, even though I've seen Ricky Starks wrestle on this roster for 3 years, that for me cemented him as yeah, you could be a main eventer in this company, especially post-Punk era. Oh yeah, I got my eye on you now. I mean, I have, but you're there. You're there. Bring this up later, but I think this show definitely cemented a lot of future main eventers post-Punk. Great performances from both men and a fantastic, honestly, this is a 5-star match in my opinion. Best strap match I've seen to date. And one, I don't know if it will be topped anytime in the future. Eddie Kingston and Katsuyori Shibata versus Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuda. I ain't gonna hold y'all, this was the bathroom break match for me. Listen, dog, you gotta choose at least one match. You gotta choose one match, and I be feeling guilty when I go doing a women's match. So let me just go during this one. I done see Eddie versus Claudio face off 16 different times this year. I'm good seeing them face off in a tag team match. More or less, as soon as the bell rung, I left. I went to the bathroom. I got this really neat all-out shirt. I have the green screen on, so here's a better view of the shirt. I think it's pretty dope. You know what I mean? I like the shirt. I like the shirt. By the time I came back and saw this match, there was 5 minutes remaining, and Eddie Kingston got pinned by Claudio Castagnoli. So I really can't rate this match because I didn't see the whole thing, but here's what I will say. It's hard to believe Eddie Kingston and Claudio Castagnoli only had one singles match this entire year, and that was at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view that happened during WrestleMania weekend. And I say that because 3 back-to-back pay-per-views, Forbidden Door, All In, and All Out, have revolved around Eddie Kingston versus Claudio Castagnoli in some capacity. Whether it's a 10-man tag or a Stadium Stampede or this match, they just start to run together, and you wonder okay, are we just going to keep on having the, like, when are we going to get the culmination of this feud? Because I know it's a short period of time from June to now, but 3 pay-per-views of you guys feuding is kind of a lot to not have had a singles match yet. So my hoping is they're going to have a match at Wrestle Dream. Eddie went, which by AEW booking standards, Eddie never wins shit, so probably won't. But my hoping is that Eddie wins, and then we move on. Eddie probably won't, but they will move on. Again, can't wait the match, but hopefully Eddie versus Claudio ends very soon. Kenny Omega versus Kenosuke Takeshita was always going to hit super hard. Whenever Kenny Omega goes up against a Japanese wrestler, you know it's going to fucking smack. And this match did just that. Kenosuke Takeshita is an outstanding athlete, and he's been one of my favorite AEW wrestlers since he came into the promotion. Kenny Omega is another outstanding athlete. So when these two went up against each other, it was pure magic. Kenny was bumping all over the place for Takeshita, taking these backdrop drivers on the back of his neck, taking moves on the apron, taking all types of strikes and shit. He was putting over Takeshita heavy, and that was the best way to go. Takeshita was rocking Omega with the elbows and everything. Omega was coming back. He had one of the best comebacks of the entire night. The crowd was into it. I was into it. Especially once you got towards the end and they were trading back those fighting spirit spots that you know from New Japan and DDT. Like, you got really invested by the end. I think the only drawback for me was the finish. Because Takeshita and Omega just had this, like, bombastic sequence of, like, trading back strikes and blows and flipping over each other, standing back up, having to fall down. Then Takeshita gets up to his feet. He pulls down his knee pad. You know he's going for that V-trigger. He goes for it. He hits it. And then he pins Omega. And I'm like, oh. Okay. Like, the whole crowd just seemed kind of like, that's it. I wasn't even mad that Takeshita won because I had my money on Omega winning, but Takeshita winning made the most sense, and that put Takeshita over like it does Ricky Starks. Even in defeat, Ricky Starks felt like a big star coming out of it. This match made Takeshita feel like a big star going into the post-punk era of AEW. I just would have had Takeshita win with his actual finishing move. I'm going to give this match 4 3/4 out of 5 stars. Damn great, even fantastic. The only thing is that the finish was just underwhelming. If the finish was like, he ended it with his actual finishing move or something else, I would have gave this 5 stars because that's what it was on par to be. But 4 3/4 is nothing to shy away about. I would still give this match its flowers and highly recommend it to people. That's 2 stars made so far. Ricky Starks and Takeshita. In the co-main event, we had FTR and the Young Bucks versus Bullet Club Gold's The Guns, Juice Robinson, and Jay White. I think Collision has already made Jay White and Juice Robinson like big stars in AEW's eyes. I think in like 1 year's time, I can see them contending for the AEW World Championship. Maybe just Jay White, maybe not Juice just yet, but like both of them are up there. We talked about CM Punk earlier and his departure from AEW. Yesterday on Collision, well, the day before on Collision, Tony Khan came out and he made an announcement. He addressed the crowd and the whole CM Punk situation leading into AEW All Out. The crowd booed him. They let him know how they felt about the whole situation. And I felt like he was pretty choked up at one point. I thought he was going to start crying, but, he went on like 7-8 minutes talking about how he didn't want to do it. But, it was a decision that had to be made. He was endangering himself, endangering the roster. And by the end of that entire thing, he won majority of the crowd over. So much so that throughout the entire night of AEW Collision, when we got CM Punk chants, the crowd booed. Like, they drowned out the CM Punk chants. That eked over into AEW All Out, where every time the crowd tried to chant CM Punk, it got drowned out. That was the best video I can get of the situation, but like, whenever the crowd went to chant CM Punk, they got drowned out by boos. We had louder Cry Me a River chants than we had CM Punk chants. Like, the only time the crowd really showed their ass is when the Young Bucks were in the ring. Young Bucks got booed throughout the entire duration of the night, but then, respectively, during the show, you had people who were in support of the Elite that were chanting Young Bucks, whoop, whoop, Young Bucks. You probably heard it on TV. Those, I think, were way more vocal and louder than the CM Punk chants were. The Young Bucks were healing it up, as they should, because they're in CM Punk territory. I also think having pro-Punk and anti-Punk on the same team kind of worked in their favor. Bullet Club Gold really excelled in this match. Honestly and truly, as a whole, I thought the match was really damn good. Bullet Club Gold came out with the victory, so again, They are cementing like another top faction, which we've been seeing Bullet Club Gold throughout the entire duration of AEW Collision. But I feel like this night definitely helped them out way more, getting a win over the Tag Team Champions again and the Young Bucks. So if they weren't already stars, these are stars made tonight in the post-punk era. I would give this match 4 stars. It's nothing insanely great, but I thought it was really damn good. Then we got to the main event of the show, Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley for the AEW International Championship. What was rumored to be Ricky Starks versus CM Punk for the Real World's Championship ended up being Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley in the main event, which was the match I was most excited for. I said as much in my predictions, whoever wins, it's a W for the International Championship. Orange Cassidy retains, it legitimizes him and makes the championship feel more important because you beat the foundation of AEW. Jon Moxley retains, you have a main eventer holding a mid-card championship. That expedites and excels that championship to being number 2 in a company if you didn't think it was already, which I already thought it was. And this match was tremendous. It was fantastic. I said it multiple times before and I'll say it again. Jon Moxley is the most adaptable wrestler in the entire world. The way that you could cheer him one week and boo him the next week it's mind-blowing. He walked into this match knowing he was going to be the heel, knowing Orange Cassidy is going to be the underdog, and he worked it to a T. Orange Cassidy was the one bleeding and gushing, not Jon Moxley. Exposing a concrete outside the ring with the intent to Paul drive Orange Cassidy onto it. It backfired, but that was the intent. The match built and built and built, and then by the end, we kept on having these sequences of near falls, and by the end, you really wanted Orange Cassidy to win. Orange Cassidy's selling has gotten better over the years, and he felt like he was in the truest fight of his life. He's really perfected the near falls, not on quite the level of Roman Reigns and Edge, but like I would say he's definitely top 10 for like near falls and selling. Every move done, every choke that he was put in, it felt like it was the fight of his life. And at one point he hit the beach break, and we know the beach break is more or less kind of like the Superman punch that Roman Reigns does. I mean, orange punch, orange crush, whatever it is. But he hit it like 4 or 5 times during the match. And at one point, he hits it and hits the spear. And I'm like, wait, what? But it makes sense because, you know, fucking Roman Reigns, Jon Moxley, I get it. And Moxley kicked out because there was no way he was going to win with that move. But in the end, Orange Cassidy's like, he's already accepted the fact that he's been defeated. Jon Moxley's standing over him and Orange Cassidy is trying to fight, but he has nothing left to give. And he's like, come on, bring it. And then Moxley hits the paradigm shift. He gets the 3 count. That's the end. Jon Moxley is the new AEW International Champion. I was rooting for Orange Cassidy, but I was not upset with the finish at all. Because again, with Jon Moxley holding it, that only excels and expedites this championship to a newer level. I hope and gives we take this championship onto Collision and kind of make that the world championship on that brand, because I would completely scrap the whole Real World Championship thing. I would make the AEW International Championship the world championship on Collision. That's what I would do. Have Moxley defended against top mid-carders and main eventers, and have Cassidy chase back after it. I would give this match 5 stars. Orange Cassidy comes out of this match feeling like a star and a ready-made main eventer. This show made 3 stars tonight. Ricky Starks, Konosuke Takeshita, and Orange Cassidy. Just easily a W show. There weren't any duds, some matches better than others, but mostly great all around. I would give the show 8.5 out of 10. That's my thoughts on AEW All Out. What did you guys think? Comment down below. Let me know. Like and follow for more.